Hi, today we are going to be looking at the effects of World War I and leading up to World War II. So the first part of this we have is the Treaty of Versailles. So an article from the Treaty of Versailles states, Germany cannot gain any land east or west of them. So these limitations they set on Germany because they thought they were to blame. They didn't want them to gain any land that they lost or any more land. Next article we have is Article 159, and it states that German military forces will be limited and checked by other countries to make sure they are following the rules. So again, these limitations stating that the military forces will be very limited, so they won't have a chance to fight back if they ever plan to start another revolution, sort of. Part 2b is the dictators. So our first dictator is Hitler. So Hitler started gaining respect from many people in Germany after he joined the German Workers' Party. He was a very likable person and ran for president to place second. President von Hindenburg liked him very much and made him chancellor. When von Hindenburg died, Hitler rose to power and eventually revealed his true plans to switch to Nazism. So he came out not telling everybody his plans, and then when von Hindenburg died, he came to power and switched the whole country to take over. Our next dictator is Stalin. Stalin quickly moved up the ladder, starting out as an underground political leader. He moved up the ranks as leader after Vladimir Lenin died in 1924. He turned the country into a dictatorship and named himself dictator in the late 1920s. He executed his enemies and formed his plan to become an international superpower. So again, kind of like Hitler, he just wanted to make his country great and prove himself to everybody. Our last dictator is Mussolini. Mussolini began as a rebel and editor for the newspaper. He was jailed for 6 months for violence and then was released. He joined World War I and became a corporal. He later had to leave due to a battle wound. After the Treaty of Versailles, he was very dissatisfied. He demanded that a dictator take over and take control. He began his campaign and gathered fascists with guns to overthrow the Italian government. When he ran in the election, he was caught for his plan, but was only jailed for 1 day, to be released with no charges. Then, Italian King Victor Emmanuel gained control of the government for the fascists, later leaving power to Mussolini to take control of Italy. So, he just wanted to, like Hitler and Stalin, he just wanted to prove himself, and he wanted to take over, to prove that his country was good and great. Part 2b is the world leaders. Our first world leader is Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Growing up, Franklin Roosevelt had a lavish life. He grew up in a very rich family and had the best education a child could get. He grew up to attend law school at Columbia University. There he met his future wife Eleanor Roosevelt. He got into politics and started working on Wall Street for a law firm. At the age of 39, Roosevelt was diagnosed with polio. He went through physical therapy and got a lot stronger. In 1910, he was elected governor of New York. He served 2 terms to then be elected president in 1933. And then after that, he led the United States through World War II and the Great Depression, and he really helped our country after that. Our second world leader is Winston Churchill. Churchill grew up in a family full of rich political aristocrats, so kind of like Franklin Roosevelt, rich family. He was given a great education, but he did poorly. He joined a military academy and later joined the military to travel around Europe journalizing his experiences. He was sent to the Boer War and was captured by enemies, but then escaped a bathroom window. He began to start his career in the British government and tried to prepare Great Britain for war. Germany later invaded Poland, just like he said, when no one believed him, and pushed Prime Minister Chamberlain to leave Churchill as Prime Minister. Our final part, part 3, is the impacts that World War I had. So here's a technological impact. So this is a radio. There are a lot of impacts in technology and homes, so people could have many different household items. This is an example of one of them. Cars also changed quite a bit after World War I. Many people wanted to join the war effort and try to help their country, so they created light models and stuff like this, so like Jeeps, to help just help in any way they could. So Henry Ford is an example of someone who helped this effort. Women also had more rights. They had the right to support their family, as you can see some women working here, a factory of some sort. And because of the treaty and everything Germany lost, inflation was a huge problem for them. So as you can see, some children are playing with money. So this much money was actually cheaper than just buying a toy from the store because of the inflation after the war and all the blame and the articles in the Treaty of Versailles that is an impact of that. So you could see a man walking down the street to a market carrying more than this much money just to buy a loaf of bread or a meal for their family. So that will be it for the review of World War I and the leading up to World War II. Thank you for watching.